quiz, written down 4, clockwise 10, return 4, anti-clockwise 10. You don't need to, all 16 of you need not touch your phone or laptop until the end of question number 4. Question number 1 coming up, or round number 1 coming up, sorry. 4 questions, 10 points for every correct answer. The topic is rendezvous itself, which means, rendezvous basically means meetings. So 4 questions on famous or not so famous meetings.
Major, just one question. So do we not keep a record of what our answers are right now?
You can just keep, we'll do a rerun at the end. At that point, you can just think of the answers, discuss the answers. When the rerun happens, you can start typing it.
All right, Major.
Or you can take a pen and paper and write it down. That works better. Question number 1. In early 2020, in the backdrop of a fast approaching development, Associated Press brought together 2 men named Graham Fagg and Philippe Cosette. They had met each other with handshakes 30 years earlier and went on to become lifelong friends. This meeting was followed by a party in a castle where they treated each other to champagne, wine, and nibbles. So one treated the other to champagne, wine, and nibbles, whereas the other one treated the first to tea, coffee, and sandwiches. Their meeting came following a draw of lots and made news worldwide. Where did they meet 30 years earlier? By where, you can either give me a very specific location or you can give me a context explaining this, part 1. Part 2, why exactly were they brought together again in 2020? This is them meeting in 2020. This is early 2020. Look at those names. Names should be helpful. Timeline should be helpful. Look at the kind of food stuff that they exchange.
Major, for the second part, is there anything that you have to focus on in the question?
Yes, early 2020. So if you know something about the context where they met, think of the timeline, early 2020. What could have been the reason why they were brought together? Question number 2. Gaetano Fellage was the personal photographer of an individual during the mid-20th century. He took the most famous photographs of this person in the context of a 1944 development. He also captured this person's meeting with someone 1 year later. This meeting was of immense consequence and invited criticism for the long rope extended to the other person. This was only to ensure long-term stability, but required the other person to give up a long-held tradition/belief. What meeting did he photograph? As in, I need the names of the 2 people in that meeting. Part 2, the other person in the meeting, what did that person have to give up? This is the 1944 photo that Gaetano Fellage took.
Can you go back to the text, Major?
Yeah. Look at the timeline and look at the fact that he met with someone 1 year later. Very helpful visual. Look at the timeline. Look at the visual. One person is in the visual. The central person in this visual met with someone 1 year later. That is in 1945. When this guy in the pic told the other person, everything is fine, but for us to allow this to happen, you need to give up something. Give up what? A long-held tradition/belief.
Major, a doubt. Like the meeting requires the name of the 2 people, or is it?
Yes, I need the names of the 2 people. Yes.
Okay.
Question number 3. In the early 1970s, Forest Service scientists at the Institute of Forest Genetics in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, produced a small consignment of genetically superior seeds of the tree spruce. Trees from these seeds were hypothesized to grow quicker, taller, and hardier to supply a better timber crop and also act as windbreaks and add beauty to the 1-acre area where they were to be planted. Among all the institutes in the US, Rhinelander was selected because it had the climate that matched the most. What exactly was the utility of these seeds? Why did they create these seeds? Look at the theme of the round. The theme of the round is meetings. And again, this is Wisconsin, which means it's sort of cold.
So, Major, when you say add beauty to the acre, you're saying it's a 1-acre area?
1-acre area somewhere else. So these seeds were supposed to be planted somewhere else where they thought, okay, these trees would provide all these benefits. You don't have to tell me where they were supposed to be planted or anything. There has to be meeting, connect, referenced in your question, in your answer somewhere. Look at the timeline. This is the early 1970s.
So the seeds were the part of the meeting, not where they were planted.
Correct, yes. Do you want me to give you another clue?
Yes, Major.
Nod on the cam if you want me to. Yeah, so basically, these seeds were developed to be gifted to someone. And following this gifting, all of this mentioned in the first para will happen. And question number 4. In the late 19th century, somebody invited a guy he admired to his cottage. This friend, who was in Brittany at this point, had been dragging his heels, as in was not willing to come over, prompting him to do something in an effort to entice him to make the trip. Now, the solution dealt with brightening up the interiors of the yellow house renting then at the address 2 Place Lamartine. He earmarked 2 items from a larger initial set for the modest bedroom where his guest would sleep following his arrival that autumn. What, therefore, made this meeting happen? The complete answer will be the 2 people involved and what inspired the other guy who had delaying it till then to make the trip. Look at the timeline. Look at where this is happening. Let's quickly cycle back. Number 1, where did they meet? Why were they brought together in 2020? You can start sending in your answers now. I need cams on. I can't see at least 2 people on cam. Kindly switch on your cams.
Can you go back to the previous question once?
To what meeting? What did the other person have to give up? 3. Basically, they were supposed to be gifted to someone. I want the context of that gifting. Explain. And number 4, I need the names of the 2 people and what made this meeting happen. Please start sending in your answers. Only the designated bouncer send in all 4 answers in one go.
Major, can you go to the third question? Is it possible?
A lot of correct answers from the audience. Aryan, Munawar, Ritik Rao.
Major, what is the second question?
Okay, last call for answers. If you're not sending it in, I'm closing it here. Not taking any answers after this. Please do not take 5 minutes to type it out. I've got it from team 1, team 4, team 6, 2, 3, 7, 5. One team left. Team 8, waiting for team 8. Yeah, got team 8 as well. People on the call, anyone want to take a shot? Go for it. Where did they meet 30 years earlier? And
The channel.
Like the tunnel
Who were
under
they?
the English.
Who were they?
And
Who were these people?
They were the architects basically, and they exchanged
Diggers.
gifts from.
They were not the architects. They were the diggers who shook hands after the channel was completed. One guy from the French side, the other from the British side. And these were the guys who exchanged greetings when the channel was finally complete, when the 2 sides met. And why were they brought together?
like during the Brexit.
Brexit, because they just the opposite of what was happening earlier. So 5
This
points
is-
for each part.
Major channel is enough for the first part. Like the tunnel itself.
Channel is enough, good enough, yes. 2
This is MacArthur and Hirohito.
and
He
And
gave up
like
his divinity.
The Japanese surrender.
Yeah, so
not Japanese surrender.
so
This is
going down-
Makata and Hirohito. And
He
basically, the
that
belief
is
was that the
divine.
Emperor of Japan is divine, derived or an avatar of God. So the Americans said, you cannot continue this tradition. We don't want this anymore, just to ensure that he did not have the same kind of power as earlier. So we explained the divine nature of the Emperor. If the fact that he had to give it up, then you get points.
Major MacArthur and King of Japan is fine for the
King
first
of
part.
Japan is wrong. Emperor of Japan will get you points. There is no King of Japan. Number 3.
This is the Helsinki
Apollo
report.
Soyuz.
This was the Apollo Soyuz mission. So basically, the first time 2 space craft linked up in the space, Apollo from the US and Soyuz from the Russians. So basically, the Americans created these seeds to be gifted to the Russians so that they could take it to Moscow, which had the same climate as Wisconsin, and planted there. If you've explained Apollo Soyuz, you get points. And number 4.
Was there a Russian gift as well?
I searched a lot. There were plenty of Russian gifts, but none like seeds.
Okay, Major. So
Bedroom
this is
at Al's,
basically
Gauguin and
Van
Van Gogh.
Gogh
Room at
painted,
Al's, Van Gogh and
Van Gogh painted for Gauguin the bedroom, basically.
Not the bedroom.
The yellow bed.
It says from a larger initial set, 2 items.
sunflowers.
Sunflowers. So Vincent van Gogh painted sunflowers to entice Paul Gauguin because the first set had 4. The last 2 sunflowers, 3 and 4, were painted so that these could be put up in the room where Gauguin should be staying. So let's give out points. Team 1 is on 36. We'll give 36 points to team 1. They got the sunflowers part wrong. 36 to team 1. 18 points to team 2, 1-8 to team 2, 20 points to team 3, under the English channel, not good enough as an answer. I need channel tunnel. So 3 points to team 4, 3 points to team 4, 26 to team 5, 11 points to 6, 21 to 7, 22 to 8. 22 to 8. It's coming 21, 22, etc. because 3, 3, and 4 was the point scheme for the last question, which is why it will be off by 1 point in certain cases. So if you could read out the scores in the correct order once.
Yeah, I'll reiterate the scores once. So team 1 is on 36 points. Team 2 on 18 points. Team 3 on 20. Team 4 on 3. Team 5 on 26. Team 6 on 11. Team 7 on 21. And Team 8 on 22 points.
All right, so moving on to the clockwise round. 10 questions on the pounds.
If possible, can you go a bit slower?
We already are going late.
Okay.
And there are multiple people who need to catch flights, trains, buses. So we'll try and go fast instead. Clockwise, 10 questions. Pounds it is plus 10 minus 5. Bounce it is plus 10. If you're bouncing, you need to give me all parts on the pounds. And if a question is not answered, the next question is to the next team. When you look at the question, team that received the previous question. Question 1 to team 1, open on the pounds. This Delhi landmark opened in the mid-1980s and had an expected functional life ending in the 2000s. A favored spot for birds, cattle, etc. It has increased in dimension. It says dimension and not dimensions by around 10 meters in that dimension over the past few years. This huge increase, a consequence of the breakneck growth of the city itself, got the media to take note in 2019, and it was predicted that it would even outdo a tourist attraction in a neighboring city soon. What is this Delhi landmark? Landmark in quotes. If you are from
bouncing, team 7 is bouncing.
Do you need any proper nouns in the answer or?
Not needed, as long as you explain what this is.
Yeah, then team 3 is
team 5 is also bouncing.
What did you say about the proper noun thing?
You can give me an answer without a proper noun as well. Last call for pounds. Answered in the audience by Aryan. Answered in the audience by
Major team 5 is bouncing.
Akshay. Answered in the audience by Adhish. I'm closing with team 5. Yeah. Okay, got team 5's pounds. So pounds is now closed. Team 1, you're direct.
Yeah, so this is the landfill.
Perfect answer. This is the biggest landfill in Delhi, the Ghazipur landfill in East Delhi, which would become taller than Taj Mahal, Qutub Minar even, as per reports. So 10 points there to team number 1. On the pounds, 10 points to team number 3. 10 points to team number 5. 10 points to team number 7. 10 points to team number 8. And that's it. Question to team number 2. Let me repeat. I need to see hands, guys. Don't make me say this again and again. Much of Liverpool FC's success in recent years is attributed to the data analytics team, which does the groundwork to create stats and models needed by the team. Headed by Ian Graham, the team has many people performing specialized roles, one of them being lead data scientist Will Spearman. He makes pitch control models and quantifies the creation of space. This is useful in figuring out the time it takes a player to get to the ball, their distance from the ball, etc. Now, Will Spearman's expertise stems from a student days at Harvard, where he worked for a brief while at an entirely different place, with his dissertation proving the first direct evidence for the width of something in 2014. What exactly did Liverpool's data scientist measure in 2014? This is the guy.
Major, is the image helpful? Like,
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. Nothing about Liverpool is really helpful.
Major, can you go? Thank you.
Look at the timeline. He was a student at Harvard. Look at the kind of work he does. Look at the timeline. And he was working at an entirely different place as a student then.
Team 7 is bouncing.
Okay. His dissertation provided the first evidence for the width of something.
Major team 1 is also bouncing.
Okay. Last call for pounce. Timeline and the kind of work he does. He's an expert with models, computers.
Major team 6 is bouncing.
Okay, I'll close it with team 6. Not accepting any bounces after this. Okay, got team 6's pounce as well. Pounce is closed. Team 2, you're direct.
So, Major, did you have an inkling I would make it to the final? Okay. It's basically he measured the dimensions of the Higgs boson particle.
Superb answer there. So this is what he did. Liverpool's lead scientist, data scientist, is the guy who actually measured the width of the Higgs boson. So Liverpool recruited him after this thing was done. So very well done, team 2, who happened to be, at least one person happens to be a Liverpool fan. 10 points there to team number 2. On the pounce, 10 points to team number 1. 10 points to team number 7. And on the pounce, -5 to team number 6. Team 6 gets a -5, but 1 and 7 get +10, and 2 gets +10 on the bounce. Question now direct to team number 3. Happy Together is a 1997 film by Wong Kar-wai starring Leslie Cheung and Tony Leung Chiu-wai, and is regarded as one of the best LGBT films of all time. It starts with a same-sex couple from Hong Kong visiting a capital city in the Southern Hemisphere in the hope of renewing their relationship, where they talk of their desire to visit an attraction in the vicinity. One of the reviews of the film said this about the couple's breakup: their passion is torrential, destructive, and always pounding away as it falls head forward and spirals downward towards an uncertain end. What attraction does the plot of the film revolve around? Part 1. In the poster on the next slide, you will see the subtitle of the film as well. What is the subtitle of the film a reference to? The subtitle states a story about reunion. Let's go back to the text. Look at the description of the attraction there. Torrential, destructive, always pounding, falls head forward and spirals downward towards an uncertain end. Look at the fact that they visit a capital city in the Southern Hemisphere and an attraction near this capital city.
Major team 1 is bouncing.
Okay.
Major attraction near the capital city, you mean it's not in the city?
Not in the city. It's outside city limits.
Major, can you show the image again?
Yeah. Half a correct bounce from Abbas.
Major, sorry, what? Could you repeat? Sorry, could you repeat what you
I
did
said
for the
half a
second
correct
part?
bounce from someone in the audience.
No, I'm saying, could you repeat what you said for the second part? What is
The second part, that subtitle, a story about reunion. That's the subtitle.
Okay.
Captain, question slide, please. Just hold on 1 second.
Half a correct answer from Akshay.
Yeah, 5 pouncing.
Major, team 2 is pouncing.
Okay. I'll close it with team 2, 2 and 5. I'll close it with your bounces.
Can we answer, Major?
Can anyone hear Major?
No, we can't hear him. Hello?
Shaurya, could you transfer host rights back to me?
Yes, sir. I'll do it.
Major, is it possible to retract the pounds? No, I don't.
Unfortunately, no. Okay, question is now with team number 3. 3, you're direct.
Yeah. So, Major, we'll say the southern hemisphere capital city is Buenos Aires in Argentina. The attraction is Iguazu Falls, and the subtitle is a reference to the fact that basically the river that flows over Iguazu Falls splits up and then reunites later down the.
All right, I'll pass you, team 4.
So the first attraction is the Iguazu Falls, and the subtitle references if Hong Kong and China will stay together or not.
Perfect answer. That is what we are talking about. This is a couple from Hong Kong. So therefore, this of course is the Iguazu Falls. They travel to South America and everything in the film revolves around Iguazu Falls. And of course, this is the handover of Hong Kong from the UK back to China in the late 1990s. 10 points there to team number 4. 5 points to team number 3 on the bounce. And on the bounce, 10 points to team number 1. 10 points to team number 5. -5 to team number 2. Once again, people who are not bouncing, I need to see both hands. I have got already 2 messages from your own competitors in the finals asking teams. I don't want to read out the team names and the people who are bouncing as well. I need to see both hands. Team 4, I need to see both hands. Yeah. John Finley Wallace was an American best known for serving in a certain capacity between 1904 and 1906. during which he was paid $25,000 a year, the second largest salary in the government behind only the president. Despite this, a frustrated Wallace abruptly resigned in 1906, the decision thought to be influenced by an issue he faced. Evidence exists in support of this decision in the form of two items carried by him and his wife while they arrived at his site of work. What capacity? What did he do? What did the couple carry?
Any shades for the second part, Major?
If you know the context of what this is all about, if you know the context, think about it. Look at the fact that this guy did not want to work and return. So, what could have prompted him to make that decision? What could have prompted this guy to take that decision? Did not want to work. If you have the right capacity or the right site of work, look at the timeline. And that important a post, then the second largest salary in the US at that point in time, behind only the president. That's how important this person was to the country at that point in time. For the second part, think of what could have prompted this decision. Why did they want to go back? Why did they not want to stay there rather?
Humanus Thompson. Both of them carried these items.
Yeah.
One each.
One each. If you have the right location, then you would know a certain issue about that. Something that, and they were not the only people who were troubled by something like this. A lot of people had trouble, just that they could quit. They had the wherewithal to quit. Last call for pounds.
Major, is there a direct or workable link between the item and the first part?
Definitely.
There is.
100%. If you have the right location, you would know a certain issue, and they were well prepared in the most extreme sense. Let me put it like that. They were well prepared in the most extreme sense. Okay, last call. If not, I'm closing. Okay, pounds is closed. Question is with team number 5. Answered by Abhas in the audience.
So for the first part, we'll say this is the designer or the architect of the Panama Canal.
Okay.
So the second part.
Let me just repeat one thing before that. The clue I added here was the items they carried would fit in a most extreme sense.
Okay. Yeah. So one I'll say is a coffin, like basically coffins for people who die, and the second part I'll say is quinine to eventually treat the malaria.
It's actually the same thing that they both carried, which was your first answer. Perfect answer there. He was the chief engineer of the Panama Canal project happening around then. And the husband wife, they both actually carried coffins along with them all the way to Panama. In case they died from yellow fever and malaria, they could make use of this and not depend on anyone else for their own burial. So well prepared in that regard. Superb answer there from team number 5. Full 10 points to team number 5. Team 1 pounds, and unfortunately we'll get a -5 for that. On the right track, but said mosquito nets. 1 gets a -5, 5 gets a +10. Question to team number 6. The term dash, which has an entirely different meaning today, used to refer to a form of identity theft where somebody steals the identity of a dead person who was not widely known to be deceased. The concept is explored in a 1930 work where it is presented in the form of a digression contrary to the author's style. So by work, I mean literary work in this context. The three-page side plot features a businessman who spontaneously abandons his career and marriage, abruptly moving to another city and inventing another identity. This was done to convey the idea that anything can happen, thereby making for a more disturbing and distrustful atmosphere. What is the blank here? Which 1930 literary work is this? If it helps, it was later made into a more famous movie version as well. I'll show you a graphic novel. I'll show you a graphic novel based on the side plot in the work. Very quick bounce from team one, even before the question itself was completely read out.
What is this image for, Major?
This is a graphic novel based on the side plot mentioned in the second para.
Can you go back to the text, Major?
Yes. All of you millennials would associate this term with something entirely different. But the original sense of this word was a form of identity theft, where you steal the identity of a dead person who's not widely known to be deceased.
Team 7 is bouncing.
Okay. Have bounces from 7 as well. Again, look at the theme of the work. Look at the kind of work this is all about. Involves a lot of, look at the general theme. Last call for pounds.
Maybe this is Team 6 direct, right?
Yeah. Okay. Pounds is closed. Team 6, you're direct.
Major, so I'll say that the term is imposter, and the work is The Great Gatsby.
Imposter and The Great Gatsby. Team 7, pounced. Team 8.
We'll say Great Gatsby and fishing.
And fishing. Team 1, pounced. Team 2.
So we'll say the term is ghosting.
Ghosting.
And the work is The Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby. Team 3.
We'll say the work is To Kill a Mockingbird.
And the term?
We'll go with
Ghosting. Team 4.
We'll say Phantom. The term is Phantom and the work is Great Gatsby.
Team 5.
We'll say Ghosting and Maltese Falcon.
Ghosting and Maltese Falcon will get you the full 10 points. This is ghosting, means something entirely different these days. And this is the side plot in the Maltese Falcon, by virtue of which Dashiell Hammett tries to establish an atmosphere like this in the book. So great answer there, team number 5. Full 10 points to you. And on the pounds, 10 points to both teams 1 and 7. 1, 5, 7 all get plus 10.
Major 5 points to team 2.
Yeah, and my bad, 5 points to team 2. Team 2 gets 5 points. Question to team number 6. The COVID-19 pandemic hit the hospitality industry across the world hard, and this held true for the UK as well. Many small businesses from a certain industry in places as far apart as Bolton, Sheffield, Wigan, Bristol, Devon, Didsbury, Rotherham, I could add maybe 100 more names to this, saw a lot of publicity for their establishments across the world in October 2020. However, media reports cited this to be an apt reward for the kindness they possessed despite all their difficulties. Why were these establishments getting this publicity? I want you to name the industry or these establishments and explain why they were getting this publicity. Kindness they possessed despite all their difficulties. Worldwide publicity, not just restricted to the UK.
Team 5 is sponsored.
Okay.
Major, these small businesses, were they endemic to England or?
No. Just that small businesses in that category in England got publicity. The previous answer, great answer from the audience by Akul. Everything correct on the pounds from the audience. Look at the timeline. Last call for pounds. Okay, pounds is now closed. Team 6, you're direct.
So I'll say these are pubs, and because in October 2020, sports and stuff they began, so they showcased that on televisions and something. So maybe that's why a lot of people were able to see. So yeah.
Nice guess, pubs, and because sports restarted. Team 7.
So Abhijit says that pubs and Stephen Fry doing our nationwide pub quiz of sorts.
Nice guess again, but no. Team 8. Team 8, Shashwat Jalio.
Pass.
Team 1.
We'll go with that. These are dairy farms, and they essentially weren't selling enough milk, but obviously their cows were in pain, so they gave the milk away for free.
Okay, dairy farms selling milk for free. Team 2.
We'll say these were these areas, they had like football stadiums and small hotels, so they converted all of them to accommodate COVID patients and for hospitals.
Team 3.
Okay, so we'll go with small hotels, like small hotels basically. So hotels, they had what do you say? They had allowed NHS workers to stay for free during the pandemic, or for very nominal rates. So in 2020, I'm guessing Marcus Rashford had his free food campaign, right? So yes.
Superb answer there from team number 3. Beautifully worked out. So basically, the English government said no free meals to children and the poor people, which is why if you've been on the net, you would have come across Marcus Rashford's campaign of asking for everyone to support these people in need. So whichever restaurant was offering, whichever small hotel was offering free food for everyone, Marcus Rashford was actually retweeting them on Twitter and also following them on Facebook, which is why all these small restaurants across UK got this publicity and became famous. Excellent answer, team 3. Full 10 points to you there. And on the pounds, great answer by team number 5 as well. 10 points to team 5. 10 to 3, 10 to 5. Question to team number 4. Located in Belgium and Luxembourg, but stretching into Germany and France, it is a region of forests, rough terrain, hills, and ridges. The perception that the area was impenetrable resulted in it being left undefended and therefore used for a World War II offensive that received its popular name only after it was over. In his 2014 book, Snow and Steel, historian Peter Caddick Adams traces this reason, the reason for this location being chosen for the attack, to the beliefs of a man who began the attack and his fascination with something. This fact was also reflected in the code name used for the operation. Name this region for 3 points. What is the popular name of this operation that it got after the offensive was over for another 3 points? And for 4 points, tell me, why did that man pick this region for that attack? I'm not telling you who the man is, that you need to figure out. Yeah, that's the location. The blue circle in the center. The blue circle in the center is what you need to focus on. This is the region as it appears now. May be helpful, not too sure. But focus on this visual.
Can you go back to the question?
Yeah, and to figure out the second part, then to figure out the region, the look of this region itself should be helpful. If you can suitably figure out a name and then work around it, you should be able to figure out the name. as in the first part. The visual was for the first part. If it helps, that name was given after the offensive was over, and only because they thought it looked like something. The offensive, when they were studying the offensive, it sort of looked like something to them, which is why they gave it that name.
Whose direct is this, Major?
Team 3 answered, so team 4, this will be team 4's direct once bounce is closed. 3, 3, and 4.
Major team 1 is bouncing in that case.
Okay. The popular name came after the offensive because they thought the offensive itself looked like something.
For the third part, like you just need a few keywords, right?
Your answer for the third part will be who that person is, the beliefs of the man, it says, who that person is, and explain his fascination with what. Explain that bit.
You want the person as well?
I want the person as well, of course. Answered in the audience by Shafiq. Great answer. Anyone else bouncing? So far, only team 1 is bouncing. Okay, got a bounce from team 1. Half a correct bounce by Abhas. Last call for bounce.
Major, can you go to the image once?
Yeah.
Of the forest and all. The next, yeah.
This may not really be helpful. These two are the helpful visuals. The fact that this is a forest is what is helpful. Okay, bounce is closed. Team 4, you're direct.
So for the region, I'm guessing it's the Teutoburg Forest.
Mm-hmm.
The operation, I guess, Operation Overlord.
Mm-hmm.
And why was the reason chosen? Passing. We don't need the reason.
Passing for that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Team 4, and the person we are guessing is Eisenhower.
Okay, passing you. Team 5.
Carol, am I audible?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So the region is Ardens.
Okay.
And the popular name Operation Bulge.
Okay.
And so basically, this region was chosen because this is where most of the operas by Wagner is set, and Hitler is a big fan of Wagner.
Great answer there. This is Ardennes, which means forest, and this was the Battle of the Bulge because the offensive itself looks like a bulge on the map. Hitler was a big fan of Richard Wagner. In Wagner's works, most of the action takes place in the woods and forests, and which is why Hitler thought, okay, now I need to attack through the forest just like Wagner had it in his works. So, superb answer there, team number 5. Plus 10 to you. And on the pounds, unfortunately, team 1 will get one part wrong and therefore a -5. Team 1 gets a -5. Team 5 gets a +10. And I don't think anyone gave anything else. Question to team number 6. Initially known for roles in pre-code films, she shifted her attention to various art forms in the 1940s. Soon became an exceptional bonsai artist and ended up creating over 100 miniature trees. One of these was created during acorns in the royal forest at Fontainebleau in France and elevated her status in this regards. This French connection, however, was eclipsed much later by another project where she was described to be in possession of something originally owned by King Louis XVI. Who is this? What was this person described to be in possession of, or what exactly was originally described to be owned by King Louis XVI? Somewhere. On the left is the lady. On the right thing is not important. This is the kind of stuff she did after all the work in pre-code films.
Major, what is pre-code film mean?
Basically, the Hays Code. So basically, censorship, etc. Not really important. Ignore that.
Okay, okay.
Major, you want her name for the first part?
Of course.
And Major, the image is helpful.
Image is not really helpful. I just wanted to show you who this lady. But yeah, it may be helpful if you can use
Captain,
your...
Team 5 is bouncing.
Major team 1 is also bouncing.
Okay, it is helpful if you can use your imagination a bit. Answered in the audience by Munawar. Great answer there.
Major team 2 is bouncing.
Okay, answered in the audience by Abhas. Last call for pounds. If not, I'm closing with team 2. Answered in the audience by Akul. Okay. Pounds is now closed. Answered in the audience by Ritvik as well. Team, who's direct? Team 6, you're direct.
Okay, Major. So for the second part, we'll say the Hope Diamond.
The Hope Diamond.
And for the first part, we'll pass actually.
Team 7.
We are saying Gloria Stewart for the person.
Okay.
And Hope Diamond for the possession.
Hope Diamond for the possession. Team 8.
We say Mary Pickford for the person and the diamond that the old lady possesses in Titanic.
Mary Pickford and the diamonds possessed by the lady in Titanic. Team 1 pounced. Team 2 pounced. Team 3.
We'll go with Greta Garbo and the Hope Diamond.
Team 4. Team 4.
Sir, I guess my teammate.
Yeah, so you can answer. You can answer instead.
Sir, I would like to pass.
Okay, passing. Team 5 pounced. Team 6, this was your direct. Audience on the call, if you want to take a shot. Or one of the teams kindly give out the answer. We have the complete answer between two teams on the bounce. Anyone with the complete answer? The teams that pounced?
Gloria Stewart and the Heart of the Ocean.
This is Gloria Stewart. And the story of the Heart of the Ocean is that it originally belonged to Louis XVI. That's what it is described to be in the film. So who said the Gloria Stewart first? Team 7 said Gloria Stewart first and we'll get 5 points for this. Who said Heart of the Ocean or Diamond in the Titanic first? I think that was Team 8, right? Team 8, kindly confirm?
Yes.
Yeah. So Team 7 gets 5. Team 8 gets 5. On the pounds, teams 1, 2, and 5 all get plus 10. 1, 2, and 5 all get plus 10. Question to team number 1. Because Team 8 got 5, so it will be Team 1's direct. CPAP, or continuous positive airway pressure, is a mode of respiratory ventilation used in the treatment of sleep apnea, that is breathlessness during sleep. It is also used for those who are critically ill with respiratory failure in neonates and for patients with difficulty in taking deep breaths. The improvement in the designs of CPAP devices was a result of the data gathered from the earliest instances of their use sometime in the mid-20th century. What exactly is this earliest instance of utility of CPAP devices? Continuous positive airway pressure. In the mid-20th century, the principle was used somewhere. Where?
So Major, like in the mid-20th century, it was used only once or as a practice?
I'm looking for a context. It's not once. I'm looking for the context. It was used numerous times, but I'm looking for a context here.
Major, we are bouncing.
Team 1's direct, right?
This will be Team
7
1.
and 8 both got points.
Yeah, Team 8's direct. Who's bouncing?
6.
Okay. think of a context in the mid 20th century where there is a need for continuous
Team 4
positive.
is pouncing.
Okay.
Major, where is the direct?
Direct is on with team 1. I have a pounce from team 6.
Do you need anything more in that, Major? Or?
If I need more, I will definitely ask. Don't worry. Last call.
Team 7 is pouncing.
Okay, I'll close it with team 4 and 7. I said I'm looking for a context, nothing specific. I'm looking for a context. Okay, pounce is closed. I have pounces from 4 and 7. Question is with team number 1.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess that this was used in space missions because they, especially for space suits, etc.
Space missions and space suits. I'll pass you, team 2.
Major, we'll say this was the first usage of in a vacuum cleaner.
First in a vacuum cleaner, no. Team 3.
Okay, we'll say these were some sort of like iron lung kind of device used for polio patients.
Which is what all the teams that pound said and will get a -5 for. Team 4. Team 4 pounced. Team 5.
We'll say this is basically used for pilots or in the aircraft in World War II.
Superb answer there. So basically, this was the first large-scale aerial combat situation and low pressure at higher altitudes. So CPAP was first developed so that one could provide continuous oxygen at positive pressure to pilots in the planes. Great answer there, team 5. Full 10 points to you, 10 points to team number 5. And on the pounds, teams 4, 6, and 7 all get -5. 4, 6, 7 all get -5. And the final question of this round to team number 6. You can see the, rudimentary design of modern CPAP things also there in the mask on the pilot there. Yeah. Yeah, who had a query? Somebody had a query? Yeah, team 3, what was the query?
Not a query, it's just that the slide didn't change for us.
Fine. Is it fine now?
No, it just changed.
The CONIFA World Football Cup is a football tournament organized by CONIFA, which is an umbrella association for all the states, minorities, stateless peoples, and regions unaffiliated with FIFA, which has been held every year since 2014. So 2014, 2016, 2018 is how it's held. Now, one of the teams in the 2016 edition of the tournament represented a group of around 3,000 people who had been forcefully evicted from their islands and atolls, numbering 60 plus, between 1967 and 1973. Why were these people evicted? This is the logo of the Football Association, if it helps. Very quick pounce from team 5. And this is the eviction process itself happening. Very helpful visual. If you can expand CFA, should be.
Team 6 direct, right?
Yeah, this will be your direct once pounce is closed.
Major, can you go to the picture with the people, like where they showed the eviction process?
Yeah.
So this is the logo of Confa, or this is the logo of this particular team?
This is the logo of this particular team.
Team 3 is sponsoring.
Okay, answered in the audience by Malaj from IIT.
I can't hear anything. Major, team one is bouncing.
Okay. Answered in the audience by Akshay from IIT Delhi. 2 correct answers so far.
Sorry, Major. Like team 3 is not bouncing.
Fine. Last call for pounce. Okay, pounce is closed. Question is with team number 6.
Major, so I'll say that these are the people who are part of the Windrush generation who never got settled in any island of sorts.
All right, I'll pass you team 7.
So we'll say the Kenyan genocide that happened after the Kenya got independence.
Kenyan genocide, team 8.
Put. Club both. Okay, we'll say these are to set up military bases around Cuba, basically.
Military bases around Cuba. Team 1 pounced, team 2.
So we're saying this is Comoros, and they're elected because they wanted to adjust the international dateline. So they wanted to be in the same hemisphere. So they elected the people to all be in the same side.
Very nice guess, but no. Team 3. Yeah, team 3.
Hello. Did we not give the answer?
You were on mute.
Okay, sorry. So we'll say these are the people from the Chagos archipelago, and they were evicted during the French nuclear tests.
Chagos archipelago and French nuclear tests. All right. Team 4.
We were guessing the nuclear testing one only. They already answered. So
Team 5 pounced. Team 6, it was your direct. The teams that pounced, if you want to give out the answer. Team 3, you were right with Chagos archipelago. This is indeed is Chagos archipelago in the Indian Ocean. And team 8 were right with their track military bases. So military base Chagos archipelago, what can you think of?
The British Indian Ocean.
This is the British Indian Ocean territory in Diego Garcia. So this is the American and British military base in Diego Garcia. So basically, the entire island was evicted. All the inhabitants were taken away and resettled in Mauritius. Not really resettled, they were just left there so that America and Britain could build a military base there. So we'll actually be lenient and give some points on the bounce also. We'll give 3 points to team 8 for establishing the concept. And we'll give 3 points to team 3 for saying Chagos archipelago. So 3 points to team 8, 3 points to team 3. But on the pounds, plus 10 to teams 1 and 5. 1 and 5 gave everything on the pounds, and they will both get plus 10. That's the end of round 2. Can we have a look at the scores if you have them?
Yeah, so I'll read out the scores once. So team 1 is at 86 points, team 2 at 38 points, team 3 at 48 points, team 4 at 8 points, team 5 at 116, team 6 at 1 point, team 7 at 51 points, and team 8 at 40 points. Are there any discrepancies?
Yeah. Anyone, any discrepancy? Kindly point it out right now. All right. Nothing. Okay. 2 team members have left the call. So 1 team member from team 5 and 1 from team 1. So just informing all participants here. So if you don't see their cams on, because they are no longer on the call, they have left the WhatsApp group as well. So next written round coming up. 4 questions, 10 points.
Major.
Answer. Yeah.
Actually, my team is connected. Can I make a call?
You can make a call.
Yes. Is my voice coming?
Your voice is coming, yes.
I can't see the screen.
Your voice is coming. Can everyone else see my screen? Any issues?
Yes, Major.
I think it's an issue at your end then. You can make a call and join in later. 4 questions, 10 points for every correct answer. Send all 4 answers in one go at the end of question number 4. The topic is time person of the year. Can be anything to do with any time person of the year. Only close to 90 time persons of the year to guess from. But mostly simple stuff. 4 questions. You don't need to touch your laptops, phones till then. Send all 4 answers in one go at the end of question number 4. He is probably the only example of a time person of the year being bestowed for achievements connected to a specific field. What I mean by that is, for example, about say nearly 5 or 6 scientists have been awarded. Close to 30 politicians have been awarded. So politics, you can say 30 time person of the year from politics. You can say 5 time person of the year from movies, 5 time person of the year from some other fields. But if you consider fields like that, this probably is the only example where time person of the year has been bestowed on one particular field. His efforts saw a lot of private funding, which even brought in a surplus 260 million for his nation. What was this person given time person of the year for? Why was he awarded? I don't need the person's name. I only want you to tell me why he was awarded time person of the year. I'm not going to give you the year as well. That will give it away. But a helpful visual. The guy there was awarded time person of the year for something. For what? His efforts saw a lot of private funding coming in.
Major, yeah. How specific do you need an answer?
It's a fairly specific answer. For one specific contribution, he was made time person of the year. But I think it's a very helpful visual there. His efforts even brought in a surplus $260 million for his nation. And this probably is the only example. I went through the entire list. I could not find any other thing or even remotely connected to this broad field that was given this honor, or people connected to it, that is. Again, you might want to go field by field and see which field fits. Number 2, the second holiest day in a certain faith was the consequence of a mid-1960s visit by someone to a certain nation. This visit also led to a boom in the acceptance of this faith in this nation. Now, the occasion itself gets its name from the visitor's refusal to walk on the red carpet laid out in welcome, thereby making contact with the soil. So this person was not walking on the red carpet, was instead walking on the soil, and that is what sort of the name of the occasion refers to. Media reports also mentioned the thick haze surrounding the airport on that particular day. So he received a grand welcome at the airport when he was visiting a nation. Whose visit? 3 points. Which nation? 3 points. What was the reason for the haze? 4 points. The person stepping out of the plane there.
Major, could you hover over him with the cursor?
Yeah, this guy. Okay. The guy who's saluting there. If it helps, I have deliberately picked a black and white image because color image would have given it away. Color would have given away a lot, which is why I've deliberately picked a black and white pic. But you can still faintly make out who this person is. Look at the kind of crowd that arrived at the airport. And after stepping out, he did not walk over the red carpet and instead walked on land. So his humility surprised everyone. Humility is a term that we use as an inside joke, and that's more or less slipped into our usual conversation these days. So humility is humble plus humility.
Sorry, just getting out of the cap. Can you please go back to the text? Thank you.
Yeah. Again, look at that. It says faith, acceptance in another nation. If you get 1 or 2 parts, you should definitely get the third part. They're all related.
So you mean that before this visit, the second holiest day will not exist, is it?
I didn't get you. Yeah, the holiest day did not exist. Before this, the holiest day in that faith did not even exist. This incident you see here is regarded as the second holiest day in that faith. Let me remind all teams, you don't need to touch your phones or laptops until question number 4 is over. Team question number 3. Time magazine's selection of George W. Bush as the 2004 Time Person of the Year was only a compromise because their original plan did not happen. The original plan was to have 2 individuals who had created controversy in 2004 through their projects. One project being a political project, the other being a religious project. And they were supposed to be on the cover because they had created controversy throughout the world through those projects. However, this did not materialize because one of them, who had to fly in from Australia, backed out from collaborating for the cover. What were the 2 projects because of which Time thought of picking the 2 people associated with them as their joint Time Person of the Year for that year? I need the 2 projects. And projects basically fall into the same category. Okay, so for example, the projects could be, let's say, 2 paintings. So one painting about politics, one painting about religion, like that. That's what I mean by project and the 2 views there. The previous question answered in the audience by Munawir and Akshay. Two famous and maybe infamous as well. One is political, one is religious. Number 4, this country issues more than half a dozen times the number of fresh identity cards as is issued by the entire continent of Europe as per stats. So let's say if Europe issues, let's say 1,000 ID cards per year, this country alone issues close to 6,000, 7,000 fresh identity cards every year. Now, this is a consequence of it being favored for something in which it ranks only behind a Southeast Asian nation. So with regards to stats pertaining to something, a Southeast Asian nation tops the list. This country is second. Now, while the name of this country in this regards may come as a surprise, it has been a world leader in this context for nearly 4 decades now, thanks to the openness of its highest ranking authority. You would not really expect this kind of openness from this country or its highest ranking authority, but they were surprisingly very open with this, and therefore they allowed it to happen. Which country? What is the reason for this country issuing these many fresh identity cards every year? Think of reasons why you would need a fresh ID card. Think of potential reasons why you would need a fresh ID card. Think of all that is on an identity card and use that as a platform to build your guess from. Think of all the utilities, think of all the information conveyed by an ID card and use that to build your answers. I need to see hands, everyone. There are at least 2 or 3 people whose hands I can't see. I need to see both hands.
Major, so could you explain like the Time Person of the Year connect with this, or?
Yeah, the Time Person of the Year connect here is the highest ranking authority in this country has been Time Person of the Year. For that, use the timeline and try see if you can get to the country. It says 4 decades from now, 4 decades earlier. Maybe that will help you arrive at the right country and the person. It's very surprising that this country is this good or this open in this regards. You would not really otherwise expect this country to be this open, but they still are. Only because the highest ranking authority, they themselves went ahead and endorsed it. Cycling back, please start sending in your answers. Number one, why was this person given Time Person of the Year?
Major.
Yeah.
My teammate has an internet problem, so he was supposed to write the answers. So can I write the answers now?
Yeah,
Because
you can do it. Please do it. One, two, three parts here. Whose visit is this? Which country did this person visit? What was the reason for the haze? Three, I need the two projects. One is political, the other is religious. And number four, name the country and explain the reason why it issues these many fresh identity cards. Or in other words, what is it the favored? It is the second in what list, or it is the favored, it's one of the favored nations for war. Any of those explanations would do. 2 out of 4 parts, 2 out of 4 questions answered by Akul and the audience. Fantastic. Last call for answers. I've got only answers from 2 teams as of now. Closing it in 30 seconds. I got it from 315762 so far. Waiting for team 4 and 8. Got it from team 8 as well. Just team 4 left. Yeah, got it from team number 4 as well. Going off to the answers. Number 1, what was he given Time Person of the Year for? Anyone?
During the FIFA World Cup to Africa.
Not the FIFA World Cup. Nice guess though. Right track. This is sports. Yes, sports.
Commonwealth.
Not Commonwealth Games. I got the correct answer from one team. That team
Los
can
Angeles,
answer.
1984.
This is Peter Obrok, who was honored for organizing the 1984 LA Olympics in the backdrop of a Soviet-led boycott. Everyone said boycott the 1984 Olympics in retaliation for everyone else boycotting the 1980 Olympics. But this guy stepped in and organized it. And it was a big success, which is why he was honored as Time Person of the Year. Great answer there. Number 2.
Haile Selassie, Jamaica, and Beach Smoke.
This is Haile Selassie's visit to Jamaica, which is considered the Ground Nation Day, which means foundation, because he's literally in contact with the soil. So after the Coronation Day, which is the most important day in Rastafarianism, this is the second most important day, which marks the day Haile Selassie touched down in Jamaica. And of course, smoke in the airport was because everyone was smoking pot, weed. Rastafarianism, indelibly linked with cannabis. That was a smoke. Number 3.
Hamas and Hezbollah?
No.
Passion of Christ and Fahrenheit 9/11?
Fahrenheit 9/11 by Michael Moore is the political project, yes. And of course, The Passion of the Christ by Mel Gibson is the other project. So Mel Gibson and Michael Moore were supposed to be Time Persons of the Year that year. but they could not pose for a common photo, which is why George W. Bush was picked as the Time Person of the Year. And number 4.
Is the reason being plastic surgery is a popular location for plastic surgery?
Very nice guess, but not plastic surgery.
Gender change.
Gender surgery. Iran happens to be the second largest country in the world with regard to gender reassignment surgery, only because Ayatollah Khomeini endorsed the whole concept and even enacted a fatwa in the 1980s to allow gender reassignment to happen, second largest after Thailand. So if your gender changes, you need a new identity card, which is why Iran actually issues these many ID cards, more than the entire European Union. So great answer, whoever got that. Let's take a look at the points now. Team 1 on 15. Team 2 on 0. Team 3 on 0. Team 4 on 0. Team 5 on 20. Team 6 on 10. Team 7 on 11. And Team 8 on 15. Can we have a look at the scores at this point?
Yeah. So in the written round, team 1 got 50.
We need the total score.
136. The
No, I think they got 50.
Team 1 got 1-5, not 5-0.
Yeah, 1-5. It's
Yeah.
1-5.
I'm so sorry.
5-0 is not possible.
I am so sorry. The total for team 1 is 101. The total for team 2 is 38. The total for team 3 is 48. The total for team 4 is 8. The total for team 5 is 136. The total for team 6 is 11. The total for team 7 is 62. And the total for team 8 is 55. Are there any changes?
Any queries? Kindly clarify right now. Otherwise, we are moving on. Okay. Anti-clockwise, same rules as round 2. Bounce plus 10 minus 5, bounce plus 10, bounce on all parts if there are multiple parts. Question 1 to team number 8. Alex Trebek, famous as the host of Jeopardy, was born in the city of Sudbury in Ontario. Now, in his memoirs, he talks of the outskirts of the city and the general area where he was born being barren for over half a century. What was the reason for this? Again, Alex Trebek passed away recently. He was roughly close to 80, 90 years old then. Again, look at the general area. I have given you a rough area and a rough timeline. When he died, he was close to 90 years old, 90 plus.
Major, as in, so when he was born, it was already barren for half a century.
Correct. Yes. When he was born, it was already barren for over half a century. I can actually give you exact timeline. So he was 80 when he passed away. Okay. And so when you look at from his time of birth, it was barren for almost 7 decades. Almost. The region was almost barren for 7 decades. He was born in 1940.
Major 1 response. Sorry, 5 response.
Right. Born in 1940, and it was barren for nearly 7 decades.
Did you say barren for 7 decades?
Correct, yes. Progressively became more barren. So if it helps, the barrenness was more initially than later.
Can you repeat that, please?
So basically, those 7 decades, the first couple of decades, it was more barren than the remaining 5 decades. Again, if you look at the timelines, look at the general area. Great answer by Akshay from the audience on the pounds. Okay, I'll close the pounds. Only team 1 or team 5 has pounced. Team 8, you're direct.
We'll say it was barren because of something to do with the Chicago fire. Like the wood from this area was probably taken to rebuild the city just across.
Fantastic answer there by team number 8. The Great Fire of Chicago happened in 1871 and Ontario borders that area. So they needed a lot of wood to rebuild the city. This is where they harvested most of that wood from. All that wood was cut and taken and used to rebuild the city of Chicago. Superb answer there by team number 8. Full 10 to you. And great answer on the pounds by team number 5, who also gets plus 10. 5 gets plus 10, 8 gets plus 10. Question to team number 7. Popular Music and Moving Image in Eastern Europe is a 2018 essay collection which discusses the various ways in which popular music has been used cinematically from 1945 to the present day. One of the songs discussed in the book is Beyonce's 2003 super hit Crazy in Love. The book argues that the video of the song is a modern day take on something from the mid 20th century. What did the book attribute the video of the song to? I'll show you key elements from the song. I'm not playing the song here only because the only reason is because if we play the song, then YouTube will give us a copyright issue and the video will be taken down, which is why showing you only the images. So apologies for that. But I have relevant, helpful visuals. Yeah, so this is Beyonce kicking on a street side pump, street side hose, and water is coming out. And yeah, this is how the scene progresses. So the book says this is a tribute to something from the mid 20th century. What? Arguably the most famous of its kind, whatever the answer is. You have a rough timeline and you have what is happening here.
Team 8 is bouncing major.
Okay. Answered in the audience by Akshay and Munawir in no time.
Major team 1 is also bouncing.
Okay.
Major, could you go back to the text?
Answered in the audience by Mahendra Balu. I got a bounce from team 8 so far. Anyone else? Team 1 said he's bouncing. Got team 1's bounce. Okay, last call. Bounce is closed. Team 7, you're direct.
So we are saying that this is a dance sequence from Singing in the Rain.
And that will get you the full 10 points. This is the famous, arguably the most famous rain dance sequence of all time. Singing in the Rain, which almost exactly progresses like how it does in Beyonce's Crazy in Love. 10 points to team number 7. On the pounds, both teams that pounced will get a -5. One gets a -5 And 8 will also get a -5. 1 and 8 both get -5. And question is now direct to team number 6.
Recharge, so please kill me.
The Secunderabad Guwahati Express was introduced in 2003, and it was then that the name Dash Dash Express was suggested for it. The name itself means dark with vegetation / harvest, and was taken from a song even otherwise well known to Indians, also covered on the title Revival by A.R. Rahman. And you could say it makes perfect sense in the context of its destination, which is the Northeast. What was the proposed name of the train? Part 1. Part 2. The manner in which the meaning of the song was conveyed in the ARR song video is sort of special. And if it helps, it makes more sense to have used this question in yesterday's quiz than in today's quiz, at least the second part. What was the proposed name of the train? What was special about the manner in which the meaning of the song was conveyed in the A.R. Rahman song video? The song being Revival. If you know what the song Revival sounds like, then see if you can narrow it down to something that means dark with vegetation or harvest. And it makes perfect sense in the context of the entire northeastern region as well. Open on the palms.
Major, the perfect sense is still for the name, is it?
Yeah, for the name, yes. Okay, pounds is closing now. Question is with team number 6.
I'll guess maybe for the blank, is it Black Forest Express?
Black Forest Express.
And so like maybe he showed since it's northeast, so he might have like where it was shot, right, where the video was shot, that might be a nod to a Black Forest.
Okay, if it helps, the two parts are not related. If it wasn't obvious, team 5.
So for the second part, I'll say. So the meaning of the song was conveyed in the various native languages of the Northeast.
Okay, so basically you're saying it was sung in the native languages.
Yeah, and then you had subtitles or whatever for
okay.
others. The first part I'll say is Krishna. I don't know. Pause.
Okay, team 4. Answered in the audience by Prashant Vijay.
It's team 4.
It's team 4 direct now, yes.
So it's a Tirumala Express, and we're passing for the second.
Team 3.
Yeah, the first blank is Kali, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Kala Kali, and second blank I have no clue. And the second part of the question, I'm going with Preetham's question on that.
Okay, team 2.
For the first part, we'll say it's Krishna Vrindavan.
Okay.
And for the second part, we'll say that he had one singer from each of the northeastern states to come and sing as part of the chorus or something.
Okay, team 1.
Yeah, so it's called Shasya Shamalam Express.
Shasya Shamala Express.
From the lyrics in Vande Mataram.
Okay.
And so, going just by that, you said you would include it in yesterday's quiz. The manner is that they essentially enacted the song in sign language.
So basically, the entire song was enacted in sign language. That was the inclusiveness part of the question. And this, of course, is Sasya Shyamala Express because revival is a take on Vande Mataram, and Sasya Shyamala means this and was a reference to the Northeast being entirely green. Great answer there, team number one. 10 points to team number one there. I don't think anyone else gave any of the other parts, so no points to anyone on the bounce. Only team one gets plus 10, and question goes to team number 8. This American heavy bomber under development for the US Air Force as part of the Long Range Strike Bomber program complements the existing B-1 Lancer, B-52 Stratofortress, and the B-2 Spirit with the same operational design as itself. Now, the complete name of the bomber is a reference to its status as the new century's first bomber and also a tribute to a group of people who made their mark around 8 decades earlier from now. The new name was announced by the last surviving member of this group. What is the complete name of this bomber plane? I'll show you the pic and then come back. I need the complete name of this bomber plane that is under development. This is on the left is the last surviving member of a certain group who was aptly selected to announce the name. 8 decades ago from now, I need the complete name of the plane. Look at Look at the template of names there. Look at the fact that this is the new century's first bomber. Combine these two references and pick an answer. Very quick pause from team one. Look at the template of names there. Use that to come up with the right template and then see if you can figure out the right group of people. It's a bomber that may help you with the right group of people. All right.
Major, whose direct is this?
This will be team 8's direct. I don't see any other bounces. So closing the bounce, team 8, this is your direct.
Bounce closed, Major.
Bounce is closed. Bounce is closed.
Our answer is the C1 Iwo Jima.
C1 Iwo Jima. I'll pass you. Team 7.
Our answer is B21 Iwo Jima.
B21 Iwo Jima. Team 6.
Okay, so we'll go with C1 Manhattan.
C1 Manhattan. Team 5.
Say B21 Manhattan.
B21 Manhattan. Team 4.
We'll say B21 Raider, Northrop Grumman B21 Raider.
And why do you say that?
So my teammate said the answer. He's on a call with me because his
Yeah, but why? Why? Explain. Ask him and tell me why. Explain the two parts.
Northrop Grumman is the person's name.
Northrop Grumman is the person's name. Okay. All right. My suggestion would be if you don't have an explanation for an answer that you don't know, just to keep your mouth shut so that everyone doesn't come to know that how the answer was arrived at. Northrop Grumman is not a person. Northrop Grumman is a company that manufactures planes. But explain the Raider part. Why Raider? Why do you say Raider? There must be some logic behind your answer. I want that logic. Why you said that answer?
He says that he was the ex-radar operator or something.
Are you mean to say RADAR? Is it?
Yes. What?
All other teams, kindly bear with me. We'll take some time on this question. Yeah, I need an explanation, team 4. If I have to give you points, I need explanation. And I can't see your teammate on the camera, first of all. He's not on cam.
Yeah, actually, his internet got disconnected, so he called me, and I'm explaining the
How was
question.
he able to see the question?
I'm explaining him the question. He's on a call with me.
Okay, I'll move on. Since you haven't given me an explanation, let me move on. Team 3.
Major, is it possible if you can tell what Team 4 said?
You can, but I need an explanation since I asked them
So
for
what did they
explanation.
say?
They said B21 Raider.
B21 Raider. Okay. Okay, we'll go with B20. No, C20, C21 Raider.
Okay, I'll pass you. Team 2.
So I'll just work with what Team 4 said. This group that was around 8 decades ago, they probably raided some part of the Axis forces as part of the World War II. That's why they said B-21 Raider. I have no answer. I'm just going off what Team 4 said.
Do you want to give me one more word in your answer? Since all teams are done.
Japan. Because
I'll actually give you the full 10 points there. This is the Doolittle raid. So this was the United States retaliating to the Pearl Harbor attacks. It was conducted by the US Air Force, and it was called the Doolittle raids after Mr. Lieutenant Colonel Doolittle, who was in charge of the bombing, which is why the bombing attack. So a bomber aircraft which did this was called the B-21 Raider as a tribute to the people who conducted the bombing on Japan. So team 2, somehow you've stumbled onto the right answer. Plus 10 to team 2. Team 4 will still give you, be lenient and give you 5 points. In the spirit of the quiz, we'll still give you 5 points. And team 1 pounced very quickly and will get the full 10. Team 1 gets 10, team 2 gets 10, and team 4 gets 5. My future suggestion to all people attending this quiz or any other quiz, if you don't know an answer, and if you somehow arrive at the answer, whichever way, up to you. But if you somehow arrive at the right answer but don't know the explanation, just to save yourself, don't say it out. Otherwise, this will happen. Yeah.
I'm just being weird, but can we get some points for B21 establishing that concept?
I agreed. We'll give 5 points to team number 7 as well. You're right. You should get some points for saying that. Team 7 gets 5 points. And question goes to team number 1 now. When the cover of the first edition of a Booker Prize winning work was designed, the first letter of the second word in its title was modified by superimposing its own upside down version over it into a motif concerned with the subject of the work. What was this modification? Your answer should contain the title of the work and what the title was, what the first letter of the second word was modified to.
Major, what is the relevance of the image?
That's the author. Very famous guy. If it helps, the work was made into an even more famous film. We would best know this work for its film adaptation.
Major, can you repeat what you said?
This guy is the author, and this work was famously adapted into a highly acclaimed film.
Major, can you wait while I move to a place with less reflection? I can't see the screen.
Sure.
8 is bouncing.
Right. All of us would know the more famous film adaptation. Got a pounce from team 8. If you have the right film, you can work backwards, figure out the work, and then make the modification that you want to. Team 4, I must tell you, if your teammate is not able to switch on his cam, he cannot take part in the discussion. It will be you yourself, Lone Wolf. Kindly ask him to drop out of the call and from the WhatsApp group as well. If the camera is not turned on now, we can't permit this. It will be you, Lone Wolf, for the remaining 5 questions.
Major is pound still open?
Open, last call.
Okay, team 2 is bouncing.
Okay. Team 4, you don't need to discuss with your teammate. If he's not on the call, kindly get off the call. He will not be allowed to sit in the quiz if his camera is not on. You don't need to discuss with anyone. Got team 2's pounce as well. All right. So question is to team 8, you're direct. Oh, sorry, team 1's direct. Yeah, team 1.
Yeah, Major, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So this is the movie that the book that Schindler's List was based on. So I'm guessing for the motive of that one was obviously the Star of David. So the only letter I can think of is the letter A. Is that good enough?
Good enough. I'll give you the points. So basically, Schindler's List was based on Schindler's Ark. The A was actually changed to the Star of David. The A was superimposed on itself and 2 A's or 2 triangles. And that is how they arrived at the Star of David. Great answer. 10 points there to team number 1. And on the pounce, 10 points to team number 8. Great answer there. We will not give next to team number 2. Said
Thanks,
a lot,
Major.
but not the exact answer that I was looking for. No next to team 2. Plus 10 to 8, plus 10 to 1, and question to team number 8 now. Before that, can we have a look at the scores?
Yeah. So the team 1 has a total of 126. Team 2 has a total of 48. Team 3 also has a total of 48. Team 4 has a total of 13. Team 5 has a total of 146. Team 6 has a total of 11. Team 7 has a total of 77. And Team 8 has a total of 70. Any queries?
All right, thank you. Question to team number 8, once pounce is closed. In the 1630s, while researching for the work he is best known for, this person undertook a journey to one other country, which was Catholic and against everything he stood for. In a city in this country, he became friends with a lutenist. A lutenist is somebody who plays the lute, who went on to introduce him to his father, who had been convicted of heresy. This meeting had a profound influence on him and the work itself, and he paid tribute to this person through the same. Now, the best example of him paying tribute would be the particular section where the angel Raphael is granted a crystal clear view through the heavens, which he compared to the person he met and something to do with that person. Which famous work is this? What did this author used in the comparison. For the second part, I need you to tell me whom he met and what about that person is referenced through this section in this work. And the section is about Angel Raphael being granted a crystal clear view through the heavens.
Major, what is a lutenist? Sorry, could you explain?
A person who plays the lute. Not important, ignore that. Look at the timeline. Think of the most probably Catholic country around then. And think of somebody who had been convicted of heresy around then from that timeline, around that timeline. And look at the fact that the angel is getting a clear view through the heavens. What can you think of?
Major, team 1 is bouncing. Can you hear me? Can you confirm, please?
I can hear you. Go for it.
I can't see.
Major, the second part, what did you say?
The second part, I need you to tell me whom this author met and what about that person was made use of in this comparison. Look at the description. Angel Raphael getting a crystal clear view through the heavens.
Major, so you want the father, right?
I want you. I didn't get that question. If you could repeat that.
17th century में.
Do you want
the हो गया. ये वाला
father?
bounce कर लिया मैंने.
One sec. Jyotish, could you mute yourself? I just want to hear what he's saying.
Do you want the lutenist or do you want the lutenist father?
The lutenist father. The lutenist father and something to do with that father is what we want as the answer for the second part. Everything answered in the audience by Akshay. Great answer. Answered by Shafiq. I have a pounce from team 1, quick pounce from team 1. Answered by Abhas in the audience. 3 correct answers so far from the audience. Last call.
Major, whose direct is it?
This will be team 8's. One sec. Who answered? Yeah, team 1 answered. So this will be team 8's direct. Jyotish, if Pratyush is on the call, kindly ask him to switch on his cam.
He's just joining.
Okay, fine. Okay, I am closing the pounds and taking it from team number 8.
We'll say Paradise Lost for the first part.
Okay.
And for the second part, he was portraying Galileo through the telescope.
Superb answer there. So John Milton was researching Paradise Lost. So for this, he traveled all the way to Italy, which was the preeminent Catholic nation then. And he was comparing Angel Gabriel's view to when by night. Then this is the exact quote from Paradise Lost. Basically, it was a comparison to Galileo and his view through the telescope. My bad in the question. It's not Raphael. It should be Gabriel. But ignore that. That was not relevant to the question in any case. So 10 points there to team number 8. And team 1 pounced and will get plus 10. Team 1 gets plus 10. Team 8 gets plus 10. And question will be to team number 7. Dash's Magic Animals is a 2016 book by English author Anthony Penrose. The book was inspired by a 1964 visit to the London Zoo as a young boy, where he accompanied his dad's friend from mainland Europe. When the chief zookeeper asked him which animals he would most like to see, this friend replied, large birds, snakes, and creatures of the night. Amongst the other entities to have taken inspiration from is an organization in his nation, as in the nation of this visitor, which invited a lot of criticism recently for changing their logo, because the original logo was a tribute to him. By changing the logo, it became too bland, which is why the new logo was criticized. Who is this visitor? Which organization is this? I have 3 images coming up. This is image from that visit to the zoo. The guy I want for the first part is this guy. Another image, this guy, the guy holding the snake in the center. Yeah, this is the book in tribute to him, but a very helpful visual here to figure out who the guy is. It's an extremely helpful visual. And this is the old logo. This is the old logo, which is directly inspired by this person. The old logo directly inspired by this person, which was changed recently.
Major, can you show the third image?
Yeah. Very quick pounce from team number 5. This is an extremely helpful visual to figure out who the person is.
Major, could you please go to the logo?
For the last one, the picture. This one.
I think this again is very helpful to figure out the person.
Major team 2 is pouncing.
Okay. It's very helpful to figure out the person and what that organization deals with.
Can you go to the question, please?
Half
So,
correct
Major,
answers. Yeah.
The who is the blank, right?
Yes. The who's the blank?
Team 3 pounds.
Okay. Answered in the audience by Raghav. Great answer. Last call for pounds. Answered in the audience by Akul.
Major, team 6 is pouncing.
Okay.
Major, can you please go to the logo and the text after that?
Can you go to the... Okay. Major, can you go to the text? Okay. Who and which?
Okay. Pounds is closing the pounds. Answered in the audience by Abhinavda.
Team 3 pounds.
Okay. Yeah, I'll accept team 3's pounds because you said you're pouncing. Yeah, I got team 3's pounds. Pounds is closed now.
Did you accept team 1 as well? My Pratyush said he's pouncing.
Did you? I did not hear team 1.
Major.
Okay, fine. I'll take your pounds then.
Yeah, and Major, you got team 6 pounds too.
I got team 6 pounds. I did. Plenty of correct answers from the audience. Just wait for team 1's pounds and then close it. Okay, got team 1's pounds. Direct to team number 7.
So for the person, we are saying Joan Miro. And for the organization, we are saying the Spanish Zoological Society or some such.
Spanish Zoological Society. Team 6 pounced. Team 5 pounced. Team 4.
They would like to power.
Okay, team 4 passing. Team 3.
Team 3 pounds, right?
Team 3 pounds, my bad. Team 2 also pounced.
3 pounds.
Team 1 also pounced. It was team 8's. Team 8 also.
No, we haven't pounced.
Yeah.
Can you just go to the logo once?
Answered in the audience by Mahendra Balu, Kartikeya Chadda, Abhas, Abhinav. Plenty of correct answers from the audience.
Yeah, we'll stick with Miro for the first part. We'll say the second part is the logo of Guggenheim Bilbao.
Guggenheim Bilbao. It was 7's direct. So team 7 will get 5 points for Miro. This indeed is Miro, and the book cover is in the distinctive style of Miro's work. So what is the second part? Anyone who pounced, give out the answer.
Spanish football.
This is the Spanish Football Association. So basically, was the crown on top, FEF. So that's the Spanish Football Federation, and their logo is inspired by the works of Miro. So on the pounds, 10 points to team number 1, 10 points to team number 5, 10 points to team number 3, 10 points to team number 2, and a -5 to team number 6. Team 6 gets a -5. And the question is to team number 6. Since team 7 got 5, 6 is direct. Do you want to take a look at the scores before that? 3 questions to go. Can we have the scores once more?
Yeah. So team 1 has a total of 146. Team 2 has a total of 58. Team 3 also has a total of 58. Team 4 has a total of 13. Team 5 has a total of 156. Team 6 has a total of 6. Team 7 has a total of 82. And Team 8 has a total of 80.
All right, so team 1 and 5 separated by 10 points with 3 questions to go. Question to team number 6. The beat surfer genre was in vogue towards the end of the 20th century, with films such as Point Break adding to the craze. One element of the stereotypical chilled out wave rider image was to indulge in a bit of marijuana from time to time. In the early part of the 21st century, this aspect of surfers or wave riders indulging in weed or marijuana was made use of somewhere to depict a surfer in quotes named Crush getting high. Where, in that context, how did that surfer get high? Surfer is in quotes.
Can you give any hints for the second part? Like what aspect are you talking about here?
How exactly, in that, if you know the context, in that context, how does this surfer in quotes get, how does the surfer get high? If you know the context, you should be able to figure out how the surfer in this context gets high. The where is the context and the how is how the surfer got high in that context.
Major team 1 is bouncing.
Okay. It's only because of
team 7 is bouncing.
Okay. The only reason why this was inserted or featured in that context is because of the description in the first and second para. That surfers indulge in this. Anyone else other than teams 1 and 7?
Do we need more from 7 for the second part?
That's enough. Bounces from 1 and 7 so far.
Whose direct is this, Major?
Once bounce is closed, this will be direct to team 6. Answered in the audience by Shania. Okay, closing the bounce. Team 6, you're direct.
So where I can say this is probably Doctor Who.
Doctor Who?
And the surfer got high basically. So they were wind surfer. This surfer is here a wind surfer. So they rode over a tornado and basically got to the top point of it.
Oh, that's what you mean by high? The high in that context.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Team 5.
I'll stick with Doctor Who, and so this is to do with the second part is basically to some depiction of the 9/11. So that's how the
Doctor Who and 9/11 is what Team 5 says. I'll pass you. But before that, answered in the audience by Akul as well. Great answer. Team 4, you're direct.
Would say Doctor Who and the surfer getting high, some reference to the tsunami thing in 2006.
All right. Team 3.
I'm not sure. Maybe is this an internet surfer and the way he gets high through exhaustion?
Very nice angle. Very nice angle. Team 2.
So we'll stick with Doctor Who, and we'll say that basically he gets high by maybe telephone conversations, and that's why every time he goes in the TARDIS, he keeps getting high.
Team 1 pounced. Team 8.
Yeah, so we were also thinking this would be like a web surfer or something in the .com era, and how we would get high is through the error 420.
Very nice angle again, but no. Team 7, it was Team 7 pounced. It was success direct. Two teams pounced, 1 and 7, who both get plus 10. Great answers. 1 and 7 both get plus 10. But can either of you give out the answer, explain the answer on the mic?
So this is
Crash is the. Please go ahead. Team 7.
Go ahead.
Yeah, one of you.
पहले आप करते हुए नवाब साहब की गाड़ी छूट गई. So this is a turtle named Crash in Finding Nemo, and they get high by eating. Well, I think it's a myth that they get high by eating jellyfish and the toxins, like dolphins eat pufferfish. Similarly, turtles and jellyfish.
So if you watch Finding Nemo, you would find that the turtle named Crush appears immediately after they come out of the jellyfish thing. And this is what happens in real life. Turtles actually consume a jellyfish to get high, which is why the turtle always appears high in Finding Nemo, because the turtle supposedly consumes jellyfish. And Wave Rider, because they're actually navigating the East Australian current. That was the Wave Rider or surfer part. So that is why they included this reference in Finding Nemo. Great answers there by teams 1 and 7, who both get the full 10, but no one gets anything on the bounce. Nobody gave me anything on the bounce. 2 questions to go, direct to team number 5 now. While this person is in possession of items referencing her love for Maharashtra, because the person was born in Bombay, Kerala, because associated or worked in Kerala as well, Tamil Nadu, because the person was originally, as in the origins are from Tamil Nadu, family is from Tamil Nadu, and extensive work in the Tamil movie industry as well. It is the same item referencing her love for Kolkata, which is the most famous and considered her distinctive aspect. Now, the origins of this item lie in the video of the Kolkata song from 1996. Before she started doing the video, which had many big artists in it, she got a sari printed in Bangla by Nandita Raja of Kanishka Boutique in Kolkata, which gave her the idea. What distinctive element of someone are we talking about? So your answer should be something like, this is the reason why Mahatma Gandhi wore a white dhoti. So that's how your answer should be.
Major team 2 is bouncing.
Okay, I'll play the track. You can ID the person from the track.
Major, we can't hear anything.
Kolkata. I'll play it again.
Major team 4 is also bouncing.
Kolkata, don't worry, Kolkata. Amra tomari Kolkata. Shahare Rani go, Amra tomai jani go. Tumi je noya roop katha. Kolkata, don't worry, Kolkata. Amra tomari Kolkata. Shahare Rani go, Amra tomai jani go. Tumi je noya roop katha.
All teams that are pouncing, I need very specific answers. Just give me an umbrella term won't do.
Major, for team 4 spawns, do you need more specific?
If I need, I will definitely ask you, don't worry. Team 8, I need more in your answer. Team 6, I need more in your answer. Answered by Akshay in the audience. Answered more or less by Utkarsh in the audience. Answered by Bharat from the audience.
Major, do you need proper noun in the second part also?
There's only one part. It's an explanation. Answered by Prashant Vijay in the audience. It's a very specific answer.
Bouncing.
Answered by Shania in the audience.
We have improved our bounce.
Let me check. Okay, I got an improved bounce from team 6. I need an improved bounce from team 8 as well. Answered by Mahendra Balu and Shafiq from the audience. Last call. Okay, I got an
Can
improved
you
answer
confirm?
from team
Can you
number
confirm
8.
that team 1 is good enough? You don't need an improved answer.
One sec, I don't even see your pounce here. Unless you pounced. I need a better answer. Yeah, you were the first ones to pounce, but I need a better answer, team 1.
You need a better answer from us also, 7.
No. Your answer is either perfectly correct or perfectly wrong. Okay, I got an improvement from team 1 as well. Closing the pounds, team 5, you're direct.
So this has to do with Usha Uttar. I'll say her. So her saris have. Yeah, so her saris, I'll say, have like words printed on them. From her songs, etc. So these are printed saris.
Printed saris, all right. Team 4. Team 4 pounced. Team 3. Team 3, did you pounce? Only because I have some 50 messages to sift through from all the audience members. Team 3, did you pounce?
Can I answer?
Yeah, you can answer.
No, we didn't pounce. We didn't pounce.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so we're saying that this person, I'm not sure who the person is, but Usha Uttap, he says, is she has a extensive sari collection, and so the sari collection has each sari is from a different place which she likes. For example, maybe if from Karnataka she has Mysore sari, Kanchipuram sari, etc., etc.
All right. Team 2. Did you pounce team 2? Yeah, team 2 again were one of the first people to pounce. 1 and 2 were the first people to pounce. Team 1 also pounced. Team 8 pounced. Team 7 pounced. Team 6 also pounced. I have a number of correct answers from the audience. Truckload of correct. I think this is the question with the most number of correct answers from the audience. Some 25 people have answered it directly from the audience. So we'll give team 5 points for saying Usha Uttup, but you missed the distinctive element. Anyone who answered it on the pounce, give out the right answer, please.
Basically, Usha Uttap's sari matches with the same color as that of her bindi.
That doesn't fit the Kolkata song description. Not
the ka in her bindi.
This is why, if you look carefully at Usha Uttup's bindi, you have the Bengali letter ka. So this is the reason why Usha Uttup has the Bengali letter ka in her bindi. So if it is a tribute to Malayalam, she'll have the letter ma in Malayalam in her bindi. But these are less frequent. The most common variant that she wears is the bindi with the Bengali letter ka as a follow-up to this song being released. So team 5 gets 5 points, and on the pounds, team 1 gets 10. Team 2 gets 10. Team 8 gets 10. Team 4 gets 10. I'll have to give a -5 to team number 6. Not the funda for this question. -5 to team 6. And yeah, that's it. One question to go. And again, do you want to look at the scores for the two teams that are involved, top two? Can you read out the scores one last time?
Major team 7 bounced, I think.
Team 7 got minus.
Team 7, my bad, gets -5. Team 7 gets a -5.
Yeah, okay. So team 1 has 166. Team 2 has 68. Team 3 has 58. Team 4 has 23, sorry. Team 5 has 161. Team 6 has 1. Team 7 has 87. And Team 8 has 90.
All right, so 5 points separating teams 1 and 5. Last question coming up. This will be direct to team number 4. This bridge, which opened in 2001, is one of the very few bridges connecting two continents. Its design incorporates reference to local architecture, and this is best evident in the look of something very prominent in this bridge. Where is it located? That's part 1. How is the local architecture referenced in its design? There are 2 images that follow. This is one of the very few bridges that connect 2 continents. Where is this bridge located? And its design incorporates something from local architecture. What?
No, one sec. Major, when you mean where is it located, how specific do you want the location? Like a country, a city?
Not a country. I need more specific than that.
Major, whose date is this?
But read the text. That should tell you how specific your answer should be. Read the first para. That should tell you how specific your answer should be.
Major, whose direct is this?
This will be who got 5 on the last one. Yeah, this will be team 4's direct once bounce is closed.
Five will bounce.
Okay.
Major, it's to do with the look, right?
Yes, the look.
Major, can you just go to the picture just 1 minute? 1 minute.
Major team 1 is also bouncing.
Again, it's
Major
not
team,
something.
Team 2 is bouncing.
Yeah, it's not something very minute. It's very prominently visible.
Bouncing. Team 7 is bouncing.
Okay.
Major, I'm going to go through security, so thanks for everything.
Yeah.
See you on the other side. Bye.
Thank you. I got a bounce from team 1. Got a bounce from team 7. Got a bounce from team 5. Got a bounce from team 2. Last call. 4 bounces so far.
Major, whose direct this is? Sorry.
This will be 4's direct once bounce is closed. Answered in the audience by Akshay. And half a correct answer by Ritik Rao. Yeah, bounce is now closed. Team 4, you're direct.
So I would guess this bridge connects the continents of Europe and Africa. It's in
I want where the bridge is, not the continents. The question is, where is the bridge located?
in Algiers. We're guessing the country. We don't know the city.
Okay, nothing for the other part. Team 3.
Okay, so we'll go with Istanbul. Istanbul connecting Europe and Asia.
Okay.
We are guessing local architecture, maybe the arcs of the bridges. No, like they reference the Islamic type of architecture.
I'll pass you. But before that, answered in the audience by Mahendra Balu and Shafiq. Question to team 2, who pounced? Team 1 pounced. Team 8.
Egypt and yeah, so we'll go with Egypt for the first part.
I said I don't want a country. I need something more specific. I'm not saying if it's correct or not.
Okay, one. Yeah. So we'll say this is the Suez Canal area.
Okay.
And the architecture is to do with basically in the bridge has these obelisk kind of things, which are like the Pharaoh era obelisks.
Superb answer there. This is the bridge, the Suez Canal bridge across the Suez Canal, which again, ideal question to end with because of Suez Canal being in use and holding up the entire world's trade. And of course, the two huge pylons that you see here in the center, they are both directly inspired by the look of Egyptian pharaonic obelisks. So that is how the design of the bridge was arrived at. Great answer to end the quiz with team 8, full 10 points to you. And on the pounds, team 2 gets 10, team 7 gets 10, team 5 gets 10, and team 1 also gets 10. All 4 teams that pounced get 10. 1, 2, 5, 7 on the pounce, and team 8 on the bounce. And with that, we come to the end of the quiz. Can we have the final scores, please?
Yeah. So team 1 has 176. Team 2 has 78. Am I audible?
You're audible. Yes, go on.
Sorry. Just a second. Oh yeah. Team 1 has 176. Team 2 has 78. Team 3 has 58. Team 4 has 23. Team 5 has 171. Team 8 has 1. Team 6 has 1. Team 7 has 97 and Team 8 has 100.
Right, which means Team 8 finishing third today. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Finishing second just by a margin of 5 points. On the very last question is Team 5. And winning by 5 points is Team number 1.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. That's it from me for Rendezvous 2021. Once again, thanks to IIT Delhi Quiz Club, the entire organizing team of Rendezvous, and all of you for taking part in the prelims and everyone watching this quiz on the stream. Thank you so very much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Ajay. Good quiz.
It was a great quiz, mate.
Thanks, Major.
Thank you for this.